Welcome to Citizen McCain. I'm so happy you guys are here. Really quickly, today we have no guest. It's just Miranda and I. We just decided we were going to sort of end the summer because by the way, it's pretty chilly here, like in the DC area. It is not, I think it's like 60 something.
Oh my God, can I kill you, please?
Ashley has a sweatshirt on. Like it's like I don't know if fall's coming early, but I feel like the summer is coming to an end. And Miranda and I just decided in our hot topic meeting that we just wanted to just have one do it old school, the two of us. So we
I'm
need more
so
audience
jealous.
interaction today. So please
Yes.
raise your digital hand. Don't be shy. Elena, if you're watching, we always love to hear from you. Lucas,
Elaine,
whomever.
Emily, all of our regulars.
Yeah, all of
Uh,
our regulars, we are happy to have you.
you
So
need to send some of that my way. Despite my sweater, I'm sick. It's the third week of school, so I will be sick until June. Everybody, just the heads up. Got my tissues. Um, oh,
I'm
we need
sorry, it's
Kleenex.
the
We need
worst.
Kleenex to sponsor us. It is 110 degrees here in Los Angeles.
Gosh.
So I need you to send some of that my way. It's
Yeah, it's
disgusting.
107 in Arizona. My brother was telling me, and I was
Yeah,
like,
it's horrendous.
it's like lovely here. You could have like a nice picnic, like go outside. Anyway, so also if you are listening on the podcast, you want to join us on Zoom, you can register to do that at twoway.tv/Megan. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/ at Citizen McCain YouTube. Our channel's doing like pretty well, but these YouTube numbers are so stressful. It's
It's
so
vacation.
fucking stressful. Like,
I'm blaming,
God, like it's like
I
so
hate the
stressful. It's so
algorithm.
black and
I
white.
hate
I
it.
know. I know. And we're gonna say this one more time, and this is a joke. Miranda and I always say, like, our biggest problem is that we should go like full racist, full conspiracy theory, full anti-Semitic. Like, we just need to start delving into the sewers.
Anti-woman.
Yeah,
Yes.
we need to be women who are telling everybody that women suck and we should just stay in the but there's some of
Barefoot
this
and pregnant
barefoot and pregnant, that's all
in the
and
kitchen. Yeah.
women's only role is to serve men. Like that, if we did that kind of content, our it would be way up. But unfortunately, that would be a lie and very
Megan, how
toxic
did
for
you
our
submit
world.
to Ben this week? Like,
Oh,
that's
yeah, Ben knows who he married.
yeah, same with Nick. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
he's
he's
very
not.
well aware of who the person he married.
I bet
Oh,
he has no illusions about the woman he married.
yes.
But I just want to thank you all again. It's been a really nice summer, but I am ready for fall. Um, Also, really quick, I am officially in my third trimester, which is so crazy. And I can't believe that I'm going to give birth somewhat soon. I'm like kind of showing a little bit, but I think I just look fat. And it's like
I
so
could
weird. I
hear
can't
that,
believe it's coming
Ashley.
so soon. Yeah, it's true. It's
She's
fine.
like
No one's like
so
offending
loud.
me. Yeah,
No,
I just look like,
you look beautiful. Your skin has never looked better, by the way.
yeah,
Like everyone keeps
I-
dropping the skincare to I'm like, yeah, get pregnant. You look amazing.
yeah, thank you. Anyway, so I've got a lot coming up, and as I've told everybody, I'm due end of December, like right around New Year, and I'm gonna do my best to make it. I think I can make it through our December before December break, and then because this is my third child, I know how to do this, and I should only take like around a 4 week a month break. Give or take a little, so it won't be everyone. Just bear with me.
We'll
We'll be
figure it
fine. And
out.
then I think that Miranda and possibly we should consider having some fill-in hosts. So if there's anyone you guys like or want us to have with Miranda, and obviously Miranda, if you have some favorites like Stina, whatever, I think it would be good to have a few fill-in hosts while
Oh
I'm
yeah,
out.
Cena, I think maybe Nikki,
Yeah,
Jamie. Yeah,
Nikki,
I got some
totally.
ideas.
We got good friends and good people in media. So that's a little life update. And then is there anything else you want to update on your life, Miranda, than you're sick?
Oh
Oh,
God.
and the Conjuring movie is coming out. Obviously, Miranda and I will be reviewing it and going to see
Yes.
it. Maybe Ashley will come and review it with us too. The Annabelle doll is very important to us, and I'm really like genuinely excited about the new movie. It looks very good,
I'm
and I
very
really like the
excited.
actors in it.
Yes, Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson. I think that's right. Patrick Wilson, the guy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because he's in all those Insidious movies too, and those are amazing also.
they're
Um,
great actors. Like
they're
really,
incredible actors.
yeah.
And yeah, so I need to do a full binge of all the Conjuring movies and the Annabelle movies to get, all of my Warren family vibes back. And then I am dying to go to an AMC because they have this special popcorn bucket. You know how they
Oh,
keep
I
doing
saw
these
that.
like
I
special
need
ones
that.
where it's like
Yeah,
Annabelle, but not this one, the porcelain doll one, the movie version of her, and she's holding the bowl. So I'm thinking I can have both of them with
I
me.
need that. I need that too. I got to figure out how to track down that bucket of
They're at the
popcorn as well.
AMC's, so we're gonna
I'm
work
an
it out.
Alamo Draft House girl.
You
I
might have to
love an
just
Alamo Draft
you
House.
might have to suck
Yeah,
it
I
up.
could
When
just
you know
send
what? I
Ben to go
went
get.
I went to a Regal over the weekend to do my K-pop Demon Hunters sing along, and the seats were like very Alamo drafted. They had pull out things like a first class tray table, and like the seats were leather and reclining. It was very fancy. I
The
was
snacks at the
shocked.
Alamo Draft House are better though. They have truffle popcorn. Like, I mean,
Megan, I'm a hot dog girl. I ate a hot dog. Like, well, we had extra salted pretzels. Like, we are not slushies. We're not fancy, so I don't need truffle. Whatever.
I love
I'm a movie theater hot dog gal.
Alamo Draft House is like such a every I'm not just saying this, then we will move on to hot topics, but for real, if you have one in your city, it is a pleasure to go to that movie theater. It is lovely. The seats are so comfortable, the food is so good, the people are so nice. Like I love going to the
I
Alamo
feel
Draft
like
House
I'd fall
theater.
asleep if I
Oh
was
no,
at.
it's wonderful. Somebody did fall asleep next to me one time, and I was like, I get it. This is very comfortable. Okay, the biggest news in the entire world, anywhere, is that, and we don't really normally cover Taylor Swift, and I just want
Yeah,
to say, like, we are not
respectfully,
anti-Swifties.
yes,
I'm just
respectfully, we're not Swifties.
I'm not. But I'm not a hater either. I'm like I like some of her music. It's fine, but like, it isn't she doesn't like reach me the way she does some people, but I'm not a Taylor Swift hater. I will say yesterday when the big news is that she got engaged to her now fiance Travis Kelce. And of all people, and by the way, this journalist who asked this question of President Trump, can we find out who asked this question?
I did
And
not recognize her, and I really tried to get a look at the profile, and I couldn't recognize her.
let's play this clip really quick. Number one.
A serious question, but I have to tell you the biggest pop culture news of the year broke while we were in this cabinet meeting. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are engaged, and the world wants your reaction, sir.
Well, I wish him a lot of luck. I think he's a great player. I think he's a great guy, and I think that she's a terrific person. So I wish them a lot of luck.
On a serious note,
Okay, so this was a cabinet meeting. So it just didn't
Like
mean not just the president and vice president, but all of his cabinet members. You saw Pam Bondi there, Tulsi was there, like members
JD
of his.
Vance was there.
Exactly. Like everyone's there. And I just think like to this journalist, maybe because she does look young, and I'm going to try and give her a break. And please find out who this person is. And you're invited to come on and defend your question. But every other journalist is making fun of you. I had a lot of people message me like, this is what's wrong with media today. This is what's wrong with political media today. If Trump is like out on the Rose Garden or walking to his helicopter or to something, and someone asks him that in a scrum, fine. But you're in a cabinet meeting. And I think part of the hate Taylor Swift gets from some people is because, oh, I'm sorry, it's Reagan Reese from the Daily, it would be the Daily Caller. Of course, it's the Daily Caller from the Daily Caller. And thank you, Ashley. And so I think part of the why I feel a little bad for Taylor Swift is like, she's not acting like a fool. Reagan Reese from the Daily Caller is. I think it's the dumbest question to ask the president. He just had a big meeting with Vladimir Putin. There's still questions about what's going on in Ukraine. There's
Exactly.
so much happening. We have National Guards in tanks here in Washington, D.C. Like, this is what makes me be like, oh my God, I can't listen to Taylor Swift. But she didn't do this. Reagan Reese at the Daily Caller did. And I just think, like, it must be so, I can't imagine what it's like being Taylor Swift, being one of the most famous people that ever. It's like Michael Jackson level, Madonna level, like it's hard to even fathom that level of fame. So everything she does, people just go crazy analyzing. And I think part of the problem, like I said, is like it's not even her fault, but it's like mega oversaturation. And I think as much as people are very happy for her, I just feel like we're going to be hearing every minute detail about her life and this engagement and her getting married until the end of time, which again is fine if you're a fan, and that's fine in pop culture news, fine entertainment news. Don't ask it in a goddamn cabinet meeting. It's inappropriate.
We were trying
Sorry.
to have our strategy prep meeting yesterday, and we're like, well, what's going on? And that was it. There was nothing. We had no ideas of what to even talk about for content because every single thing, notification on
We
my
have
phone.
topics. Don't
We do
scare
have
everyone.
topics, obviously,
Okay.
yes. This is not the whole thing, but like every single notification on my phone, every text that I was getting was in regards to this, and some of them were actually kind of insane takes in regards
Well,
to
you have the thing is like we have a resident Swiftie. Ashley is a Swiftie here. I
yes.
know Swifties. Ashley's not the only one. I know
Mhm.
people who love Taylor Swift, but everyone that I know in my actual life who is a Swiftie, they have a normal Swiftie It's like they're just mega fans. And there's always mega fans for pop stars. I think the
Sure.
problem is there are some people who make the fans look crazy. Like there's some people that maybe are having like some psychological, parasocial issues that should be dealt with in a different fashion. And again, Taylor Swift can't control that either. It's like, she inspires people. So I don't
I
know.
I
Is it worth?
disagree. I
Okay.
disagree. I think and maybe if Ashley wants to comment or,
If you'd like to comment, Ashley,
holler
by
from
all
her
means.
corner, but
But
I think that in a
Ashley's not
way,
weird about it.
no,
Like you're just
no,
a
I'm not saying
fan.
that. I'm
Like
saying that I'm saying that in a way Taylor encourages this sort of
you
parasocial
think that's
behavior
true?
because she engages with the fans in a way that
Ashley
makes
doesn't
them
agree with you.
feel like
You think
she's
maybe.
friendly with them.
I should have
Like
mic'd you. Sorry.
she's invited fans into her home and she's invited people to listening sessions and she comments and she gets in DMs and she's befriended fans. So these people think that there's a very real possibility that they could be in her life in an actual organic way. And I think possibly 10 years ago maybe that was something that could have happened. Now absolutely not. But these people who have these visceral reactions to her movements, um I don't think that they're that like touched in the head or off base psychologically. I think that there is an element that thinks that there is something there that they could have. It's not entirely parasocial. There is some sort of a give and take there because they do go to the shows and exchange things with each other and they engage with her and she gives them hugs and she speaks to them. It's so I don't know. And Ashley, please feel free to correct me because I am not a Swiftie scholar. But am I wrong? She has done these things.
Ashley said that's fair. I think one of the things that's going to be interesting is she's obviously in love. They seem very happy together, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift do. And what will be interesting is, now like he is hers and she's his, and it'll be interesting. She's always been sort of like, if not single, but just giving like a ton of her life to her fans. And will she be more guarded? Will she be more private? Will she have a harder time maybe making as much music? And it's all like I said, I'm not a hater. I'm not a Taylor Swift hater. I just am not I'm really obsessed with Chapel Roan right now and Sierra Farrell. Like I
Okay.
love both their music. I think they're like, and I was telling Ashley, like I love a messy rock star. Like I love like a messy, flawed, and Chapel Roan's like a messy, flawed rock star. And I just think she has an incredible voice. So like who we respond to for whatever reason is personal, but she certainly is like the biggest. Taylor Swift's the biggest, arguably the biggest celebrity on the planet, with one exception. She cannot sway an election. That's what's always
Yeah,
interesting about Taylor
that's
Swift is she
interesting.
she cannot move a needle with her endorsement in politics, which is the one. It's a interesting little chink in the armor, but nobody can. There's no celebrity on the planet that can do that. People make their decisions in
It's
personal
so
ways, and
personal, yeah.
doesn't matter.
But
Yeah,
speaking to her influence, there were a lot of people yesterday
I
talking
think she influenced
about
voter registration though, so she did
yes,
do that. Yeah,
she did manage to get a ton because she posted a link and people were she made it very easy to register new
and
and
also
young
that's
voters, which is
fantastic. She should do that
fantastic.
again. Yes.
Excellent. Please,
Mhm.
every cycle do that all the time. People should be registering to vote. God, you and I should be doing it all the time. But you know, her influence is so vast. There is this whole, population drop and people aren't having babies, specifically millennial women.
Yes.
And she was the face of the childless cat ladies and all of that. And there were a lot of conservatives and people on the right saying that this is actually like a really great move for the culture and society because she's embracing this like
It
very
will be
traditional
crazy
lifestyle,
if she has a child and then there's a population boom. That will be crazy. Like
right?
if people all start having babies because she does. I have nothing else to say about Taylor Swift. We obviously wish them the best. It's nice. They
Congratulations.
seem genuinely happy.
They're a
I
beautiful
never thought it was a
couple.
PR relationship, by the way. I will say
I
that. I
didn't
never thought
either.
it
And
was.
what's
I think
funny
that's
is
a
that
weird conspiracy.
there's a whole subsect of the fandom called the Gaylors. And it's
We were
an
talking about it with Ashley.
yeah, I don't know if we wanted to get into this, but we have the time, so we can. And I'll start it
We
if
do
we.
have some great topics. Just
Okay, I'm just gonna say it real quick. Is that they thought it was fake, and Taylor Swift was gonna like manufacture this like insane elaborate coming out, and that Travis was just her beard, and I think that that's absolutely insane crazy. And so if we want to play the video, we can just because it's hysterical. But for anybody who wants to get down
want
into
to
a
play
crazy
it or no?
conspiracy rabbit hole, the Gaylors
That's all right.
made
Ashley
their
says yeah.
they made their Reddit page private
I
because
didn't even know any of
they were
this. I didn't
tired
even
of
know
people
there's a
coming on and
conspiracy
looking at
theory
it.
she is by. I never know any. I don't know where the
I
hell I
think
am
it started
sometimes in
with
my
her
life.
friendship with Carly Kloss,
That's what Ashley told
allegedly.
me. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, they take that
There are
Gaylors.
really some blind spots in my pop culture knowledge sometimes where I'm like, I didn't know any of that.
They have their
Um,
own name. It's crazy. There's the Swifties and then the Gaylors. Like maybe they don't get along. I don't know. So we'll see.
do you want to talk about Cracker Barrel? Because I really do.
Please, I am
Um,
dying to. We've been trying to talk about Cracker Barrel for a week, so let's do
So,
it.
okay, just really quickly, I need to preface this. I've been to Cracker Barrel many times. I live in Virginia. There's Cracker Barrels here. And if anyone who's gone on a road trip in the South, they're everywhere. But I'm going to say something that's a little controversial. I am a Waffle House girl. I just am. I prefer Waffle House. If there's an option, they tend to sort of like be in the same kind of locations. And,
Well, we're
you know,
also kind of trashy.
I really like, I ride really hard for Waffle House, and it's actually one of my pregnancy cravings. And it's hard to, in like the DC, like
Was
Northern
it, do they
Virginia
not
area.
have
There is
them there?
there's one, but it's like a half hour away from me. Anyway, but I really do. And that doesn't mean I don't like Cracker Barrel. I'm just saying, like, if I'm on a road trip, I'm going to Waffle House and not Cracker Barrel. That being said, I have been, and I know about the experience and the food. So Cracker Barrel got itself into quite a bit of a outrage and a pickle this past week. There has been a week of outrage over the rebranding of its logo. Cracker Barrel said that it will be reverting back to its original logo with the old timer character. Do we have a picture of the before and after? Thank you very much of the before. Okay, so the before has the literal man with the cracker on the barrel, and then it was going to be rebranded to this sleeker, cleaner, more like, I think like
Modern.
meta modern, yeah, logo. So Cracker Barrel tweeted yesterday, "We thank our guests for sharing your voices and love for Cracker Barrel. We said we listen and we have. Our new logo is going away and our old timer will remain. At Cracker Barrel, it's always been and always will be about serving up delicious food, warm welcomes, and the kind of country hospitality that feels like family. As a proud American institution, our 70,000 hardworking employees look forward to welcoming you to our table soon." One last thing, President Trump responded to this. And again, our president has better things to do than this. He said Cracker Barrel
Does
should go
he?
back. I mean, maybe not to the old logo, admit a mistake on a customer response, the ultimate poll, and manage the company better than ever before. They got $1 billion worth of free publicity if they play their cards right. Very tricky to do, but a great opportunity. I have a major news conference today. Make Cracker Barrel a winner again.
Oh
Remember,
my
in just a short
God.
period of time, I made the United States of America the hottest country anywhere in the world. 1 year ago, it was dead. Good luck. I'm not really sure what that. It's like a long tweet. Okay. Uh, you go first, Miranda, and then I have a lot to say. Do you care about Cracker Barrel? Did you care about this rebranding? Did you care about the woke? Oh, and also it's worth noting they also had plans to redo the inside of the Cracker Barrel. And Cracker Barrel looks like it looks like an old-timey restaurant. It's like wood and like it has like a giant gift shop with lots of like things in it that I personally would love to buy, like lots of like American flag stuff, like, whatever. And they were going to redo it to make it look just like, honestly, like a normal restaurant, like cleaner and white and just like more sparse and more like modern, I guess. Um,
Minimalist.
yeah. What did you think of this controversy?
Okay, so first of all, I think we were tricked. I think that this
Okay.
I think that this whole thing was just like a cry for help attention whatever like from Cracker Barrel like hey talk about me for a few days. I don't think that any of this was real now because this big about face a week later is insane. But maybe I'm wrong because everybody seemed to hate this rebrand for some reason. Everyone is very attached to this Uncle Herschel guy next to a barrel that's only been around since 1977. And they're very emotionally attached to a sign. But I don't get it. I need you to explain it to me because I've grown up here. We in California only got our first Cracker Barrel restaurant, I think, within the last 5 to 10 years, and it's in Victorville, which is like 2 hours away from me. It's like on the way to Vegas if you go the wrong way. So, I've never even been to that one. I've been to one in Jacksonville when I went there with our friend Andy on a trip to a
Oh yeah.
station. Like he made me go there. We went there and to a Waffle House. He's like, you need to try these places. And it was great. It was an experience. I loved it. I did prefer the Waffle House, and we found a condom in the parking lot, which was hysterical. That was
That
like my big
tracks.
takeaway from Waffle House. But I had the Coca-Cola cake at Cracker Barrel. It was delicious. So I love both of those spots equally, and I get it. And it was very southern, and it was kitschy and adorable. It kind of reminded me of like a TGI Fridays, where they had like crap all over the walls and
Mhm.
interesting things to look at. Um, I don't understand why this turned into a political thing with the rebranding of the signs, because you see like Dunkin' dropped the donuts off of their name and changed their design and nobody gave a shit. A lot of places it's just called like DD, like Dunkin' Donuts. Like, so I don't understand why Cracker Barrel caused such an uproar that the president had to get involved. Other than it's more intertwined with Southern culture. I might just need you to explain this to me like I'm stupid, because
Okay.
I don't understand why everyone was like all up in arms. This is very reminiscent to me of like the Sydney Sweeney American Eagle thing, where I'm just like, it's jeans. I don't get it. I don't understand like the
Mhm.
drama.
Well, I think first and foremost, there's a huge cultural shift and a huge cultural backlash to the 2020 hyper woke era, where literally everything that even like people found insanely and irrationally remotely offensive was being removed and taken
Are we
away.
talking about
And
like
then
Mrs. Butterworth's and Aunt
yes,
Jemima? Okay.
and like Aunt Jemima syrup, things like that, that were, remember when they were trying to get rid of
Uncle
Paw
Ben.
Patrol because Paw Patrol had a cop dog in it, like a police
Chase.
dog, and people
Yeah.
were trying to,
Uh-huh.
yeah, people were trying to remove Paw Patrol. Like there was a time when it was just like everything everywhere was trying to be removed. And, even like as extreme as statues that were torn down in my neighborhood and, buildings and things that everyone found offensive. And there's been such a cultural backlash to all of that in the last 5 years. And I think a lot of this stuff is the breeding ground for how Trump got reelected now. And I think people are just very sensitive. Cracker Barrel is a predominantly Southern chain, or I associate with like Southern food
Sure. It's
in
just
the
not
South.
available other places.
Yeah, exactly. I will say I don't think that the customers are all white. I've been to Cracker Barrel, like I said, many times, and I've always found it to be like lots of different kinds of people eating there, and lots of different races, and lots. It's like I couldn't say like this is just a white restaurant. That's like ridiculous.
Right.
So I think people are just hypersensitive to things being changed, and there's also this meme going around on Twitter that shows all the like, and again, this is like respectful to myself. I too am a white woman that wears dark frame glasses sometimes, so whatever. But it showed like the CEO of NPR, the woman that was responsible for the Budweiser insanity, the CEO of Cracker Barrel, and then there's one other woman I can't remember. There's all like older white woke women in charge for rebranding of these companies, and they're doing it in the image of what they like, which is probably like someone living in, Williamsburg, Brooklyn, thinking that everything that people in the middle of the country and red state people like is trash and backwards. And I'm going to tell you, my family works in the Budweiser business on my mom's side. You can Google it. Um, I lost a lot of money and clout because of the Dylan Mulvaney scandal. A lot of people were impacted on a lower level that worked for Anheuser-Busch in general. A lot of employees were impacted, and I think it was I tweeted, "Trust me, Cracker Barrel, know your audience, know your consumer." A Budweiser drinker is not someone who's going to be a fan of Dylan Mulvaney. And Budweiser, by the way, it is like clocked as one of like the worst economic decisions. It's like that and Coke Zero
Wow.
or New Coke, like of all time. Like it's actually taught in business schools that like this is how you like screw up a brand royally. And I think Cracker Barrel was probably like, well, we don't want to Budweiser ourselves. Like you need to know, and your customer, you have to listen to your customer, and your customer is saying, I don't like this. So I think people are just very sensitive to the brands that make them feel nostalgic, to the restaurants that they frequent, and they don't want it changed by, and I say this as like a woman who wears dark glasses and used to live in New York City, but like they don't want it changed by people who live in, who live in these cities and don't understand why things are popular to begin with. So I understood I understood the controversy. I think it was a little overblown, but I think it's very smart that Cracker Barrel ended up listening to its audience and said, "All right, we're gonna go back to the way it was. Don't worry."
Do
We
you
have a
think that
question.
this fixes
Oh,
the
I'm sorry, we do not have a
problem?
question.
Do you think that this, we do have a
Yep.
question. Do you think that this fixes the problem for the customers? Do you
Yes,
think
I
that
think it's
they're
fine.
going to be
Yep.
like, oh, okay, 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 we trust you again, or are they going to be
Yes.
like,
I don't
a
think they
little bit
care.
trigger shy?
I think we won't be thinking about this or talking about this in like a week, let alone. Okay, we do have a question from Emily.
Oh,
Emily, feel free to
what's
join.
up,
Hello.
girl?
How are you? Do you have
I,
a question about Cracker Barrel?
yeah, so I can explain this to you. Sorry, I have COVID, so
Oh
I
yeah, that's
Oh
right.
gosh, I'm so
How are you feeling?
sorry.
sound terrible. Yeah, thanks.
Your
I'm
nose
on
looks
the
like mine.
mend. So yeah, yeah, I am on the mend. This new strain is nasty. It moves fast, but
Oh
it felt
no.
worse. There was like a lot of body aches.
Oh my
So if like
God.
your legs, if your legs start hurting, just you're infected.
Oh
It's too
no.
late.
Oh
Okay,
no.
good. I'll keep an eye out for that.
Yeah,
God.
yeah. So I was not a fan of this Cracker Barrel rebrand. So I can explain this as someone who grew up going to Cracker Barrel. There's one in my hometown. It's if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
And the reason why people like Cracker Barrel is because it never changes. Like
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
why you go. Like you go because you know what you're getting. It's fun, it's nostalgic, it's a little hokey, and it's
Yeah.
pretty white. That is a white person who goes to Cracker
Hmm.
Barrel, and like it's weird. Like if you think about Waffle House, and I do like Waffle House, not as much. If I had to pick, I'm probably going Cracker Barrel because to me, Waffle House is more like you go when you're drunk. You know,
That's fair.
like that's like Waffle House,
Yeah.
like for me, yeah. And like they are fun, and I think they both serve their purpose in different ways.
Yeah.
Like Cracker Barrel and Waffle House are always there when you need them.
Totally. I also think it's
But
important for,
yes.
yeah, I think it's important for CEOs. Like one of the things that when I was watching some of the interviews with the woman who's the CEO right now or in charge of marketing, I think you should be a fan of your companies you're taking over. I think you
Yeah.
should.
Huge.
It seems
Yes.
like maybe like I remember the Budweiser woman saying like this is a really broy brand, like it's like frat houses drink this, like we need to
Yeah.
expand it, like really lecturing the kind of people and like you're a business, it's here to make money. And I think like Red Lobster has had a huge rebranding and resurgence by this like amazing CEO that used to be the CEO of PF Chang's. I apologize,
Oh
I don't know
yeah.
his name. And he's been like he does like these amazing ads and like these amazing viral videos where he's talking about
Mhm.
they did like a they had like done a poll and the customers said they needed more spices in their like seafood boils and then
Oh
they came
yeah.
up with like three different kinds of spices and he was eating it and he just looks like so excited and it's like if you are going to be the face and the person marketing these companies, you should like it. You should want to eat at these restaurants. You should want,
Yeah.
and I think some of these people hired are just like people that come from like big shot advertising firms that are like looking down because it's not like a Michelin restaurant. And I
Yeah.
think that, and I honestly, good for Cracker Barrel because trust me, you could have had the potential to lose a lot of money. I don't
Oh
remember the
yeah,
exact amount,
absolutely.
but Anheuser-Busch lost like it was something gnarly. And again, I have to like
Mhm.
it's public information, but it was like 40% of its stock. Like it was like
Oh wow.
very significant amount of
Holy
money.
shit.
Yes.
Mhm.
And again, because it was like part of it is like so you're like looking down on the consumer. You're like, oh, we don't want white frat house guys drinking our
Mhm.
beer. We need whatever.
395 million.
Yeah.
Yep. It was a bloodbath.
Okay.
Like,
Okay,
anyway,
if frat boys aren't drinking Bud Light, then like the world has stopped spinning.
I know.
What else are they
Totally.
what else are they
Also,
doing? Like, oh,
Oh
go
I
no,
ahead, I'm
they're
sorry.
saying
genuinely like Bud Light
over a
wine.
billion dollars
I
Me
in net
genuinely
too.
sales.
like
Holy
it.
shit.
So I was like, it's not
Yeah.
just for frat guys. Like I
Yeah,
genuinely
Bud
like drinking
Light
Bud Light wine.
Lime
So
is delicious. And
my
I
go-to
hate that
beer.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's so good. Like it kind of gets framed as like the girly beer, but I'm like, I don't give a shit. It's delicious. Like I like there's a reason why those things are there. Like it's like McDonald's. Like I like it because I
Totally.
know it's bad for me. Like I know it's
Totally.
shitty, and that's why I enjoy it.
Totally.
And
But you
Well,
Cracker
also,
Barrel's kind of the same.
speaking to that, yeah, you always know what you're gonna get when you go to a McDonald's here,
Yeah.
in another
also,
country,
your
whatever.
LA base, Miranda, In-N-Out Burger put a tweet out saying we'll never change. They were like, we're not
If
changing
they
our logo. We're
changed
not
their logo,
changing.
I
Yeah.
would be livid. So you
Yeah.
know
So
what?
you get
Exactly.
it.
It's
There
I
the
we
get
go.
it.
same. Yeah.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they
Clocked.
put
We
a
don't
tweet out
have
and
it.
they were
You
like, we're
Yeah.
clocked me.
never,
It's
they were
the
like, we're not
it's the
changing our
palm
logo. We're not changing our
trees.
menu. Like,
Yeah.
we will never change. So In-N-Out
Yeah.
Burger gets it.
If
Yeah.
they
Um,
Yeah.
changed their menu, I'd freak out. Yep, I got it. All right, I got it.
Yeah.
we
It's the
actually
same
have,
thing.
we have another question. Emily, I hope you feel better. Thank
I
you for
I will talk
Thank
to you later,
you.
coming
Emily.
All
in.
right. All
Thank
right.
you. It's nice to
Bye.
see you as usual. We have Haley
Thanks.
here. Do you want to join the Cracker Barrel conversation
Or anything. Yeah. Hi.
or
Hi.
anything? Hi, Haley. How are you?
Good. How are you? You both look beautiful today. I just
Oh,
had to
thank
say that.
you. So
Love your
sweet.
sweater,
Thank you.
Miranda. Wherever you
Oh,
put that.
Amazon.
Always.
I can link it in my Instagram stories later.
Did you go to Harvard?
Oh,
You
absolutely
smarty.
not. This is from
Oh, I
I
was
was
H&M.
gonna
like,
say,
smarty
do you want to
pants.
co-host with me when Megan's gone on vacation?
I know.
I need a
Definitely
smart
not.
person.
I'm trying to take Harvard back is what's happening. It's from H&M.
Good luck.
So I just like I think you had such a good point when you were talking about like in the general sense of like how I think a lot of like the woke rebranding of all these brands, like all of the outrage, not even just like with the rebrands and everything, but a lot of outrage when it comes to all of these woke issues are like older white women. And it's like
Totally.
it's like I am a I guess I could say like younger white woman. So like I hope I don't get this phenomenon like when I get older, but
I know.
it's
I
like
know.
it's like it's giving us such a bad name, and it's like not all of us are this like insane, and like even like it brings me back to like the Sydney Sweeney thing. The only thing that I saw when like that outrage came out, the only TikToks, the only Instagrams were older white women. Like I could
Mhm.
like go through that, and I just like I don't understand this phenomenon of why it's like the people who are so outraged of like all of these cultural issues are just like one group of people. It's like it
Well,
really
I
And
think you're right,
the
Haley. And
power
I
that they
am an
have.
older white woman. I'm 40, so like, okay. But I will tell you, there's been a controversy here in Virginia, about there's a governor's race and Abigail Spanberger, who's a Democrat, is running against Winsome Sears, who's a Republican. If Winsome Sears were to win, she would be the first female black governor in the United States. I'm personally a huge fan of hers. She was in the Marines and she's just a really impressive person where I'm happily and easily voting for her. A woman went to one of her rallies protesting last week and had a sign that said, if you're not going to support like trans kids in bathrooms because there's a scandal about
and
it's a
something
whole other
like
thing.
I
Yeah,
saw that.
that you will then you don't then you'll be drinking at separate water fountains. And obviously that's like the most race. It's like dictionary definition of racism. You're telling a black woman that you would rather her drink at a separate, have segregated drinking fountains because you don't like her politics. And I was so upset because I don't understand. And again, I'm going to say it's progressive white woman because it was a old white woman holding the sign. Why does it always circle back to like, you're okay being racist. You're okay being so judgmental of people who eat at Cracker Barrel, who drink Budweiser, whatever. Like you're so elitist. It's that horseshoe theory about like the woke left and the woke right. And I think it's actually like not to get too deep, but I actually think it's like a problem for Democrats. I
Mhm.
really do, because if you are like the base of your party, which is progressive white women, I can't understand that you don't get to be racist, you don't get to be snobby, you don't get to be an asshole to people just because they think differently than you or eat differently than you or drink different kinds of, alcohol products. It's just really interesting, but I agree with you. It really freaks me out. I really don't want to turn into I'm never going to be a old progressive lady, but I totally fear as I get older, like whatever this phenomenon is with white women where their brains break and they act just like absolute fools and make spectacles of
Not
themselves
only
because I don't want that to happen.
The Karenification.
And
Yeah.
please come back
Absolutely.
on and kick my ass if I do, Haley. And
It's
Miranda will as
always.
well. And so
But not
Ashley.
only that, I also find them. I grew born and raised in New York City, and half of my family is like progressive. Like they're Mamdani voters, which is absolutely insane to me. But they also, to me, are some of the most like what's the like just completely close-minded people that I've ever
Mhm.
met. And like
Mhm.
this is like, half of like these are my family members, but they are like they do not want to hear anything about the opposite side. And it's specifically this group of people that are just so close-minded and closed off to other opinions besides themselves. And I think it's a like for both, like it has one to do with the other. It has to.
Can I ask you, Haley, just like on a total sidetrack, but you brought it up. I think that Mom Donnie has a very good chance of winning. How are you going to, because I have friends who live in the city who are conservative. How are you going to handle living under his regime, which is what I'm going to call it, because he's a proud socialist?
Yep.
That some of his policies that he has, suggested, and I not only find dangerous, but I find like un-American. Um, are you going to stay in the city? Is there nothing you can do, or are you just going to continue to try and fight the good fight? Like, how do you feel?
Well, I just moved back. I actually lived in Texas for a couple of years. I was in Dallas. So I did move back to the city in the last few months. So I am here to stay for now. But it's like mo majority of my thinking is like we have to, fight back on everything that he's doing. But I also look at the bigger picture, and I do think that however long he's going to be in office, because I think it's inevitable, I think he's going to win. However long he's going to be in office, this is going to be like a test case. Like he's going to do what he is going to try. Let's see if Albany's going to play ball with him. That's also another like factor here. He's going to try what he's going to try. And then I think, and then after him, New York City is going to realize what a mistake was made,
Mhm.
and it's going to redirect itself, and we're gonna have a Bloomberg like person. I just think the pendulum is too far left right now, and they need to give it a try to see like what it's actually going to be like in practice, and then they're going to realize, oh, we made a mistake, and then I think it's going to
Mhm.
shift back. It has to. I just think that New York City cannot function under what he's planning to do, and people are going to quickly realize it. They have to. I have
I
hope.
hope so. I hope so. I'm really, it makes me, everything about it makes me really sad because I think like a healthy democracy has two normal parties. And if this is the direction Democrats are going, it really blows my mind. And the fact, his like stance on Israel and globalizing the Intifada, the fact that he won't disavow that, which is a call to violence against all Jewish people and Zionists, for people that don't know what that means, the fact that he won't disavow it, I mean, the largest Jewish population outside of Israel lives in New York City.
But
Like,
we
how are they
have a
supposed to do it?
problem in our own community because I just read that one of the biggest Jewish billionaires in New York City is either building a pack for him or donating an obscene amount of money to his campaign. I don't remember which it was. And that's a problem within our own community that we have to address, because for someone who is using Judaism as like their thriving philanthropy and activism, and then to go and give all this money to somebody who is the antithesis of everything that you stand for in your community, it's a
Do you
mess.
know their
We
name?
have to. I don't, but I'm gonna look it
Don't
up and
worry
I'll
about
put
it.
it in the chat.
Well, please come on and tell us how it goes. I agree with you. I think there's an extremely high likelihood he gets elected. There's just too many other people in the race. I wish that Eric Adams and Curtis Siwa and I mean, they're all shitty candidates. I don't know. I
Exactly. If
wish
they were
they would all.
thinking of the good of New York, they'd have dropped out a long time ago.
I agree, but I still have a lot of friends in New York. It's still an incredible, beautiful metropolis, and I don't want people to suffer. And I think there's going to be a lot of suffering under his mayoralship, and I think it's
I
just
agree.
a tragedy. I really do. Anyway, thank you so much, Haley, for joining.
Thank
It's
you
always
guys.
nice to
Love
see
your
your
show.
face. Thank you.
Thanks,
We love
Haley.
you. Thank you. So we're gonna switch gears just a little bit. You guys have probably already seen, but there are National Guardsmen all over DC that Trump put into place to deal with the crime crisis. Um, we have our own employee here at the Citizen McCain show. Russell Keski is a George Washington College student who is also our college associate. Hello, Russell,
Hey,
here on
Russell.
Citizen McCain. Russell, thank you so much for coming on. So, Russell is a student at George Washington College. I'm sorry, George Washington University, GW. Very, by the way, fancy, prestigious school for you to go to. I want to ask you about the DC crime. The Washington Post reported that President Trump was thinking about sending national guards to Chicago as well. You live in Washington D.C., but you're also from Chicago. Can you tell us how it's been living in Washington D.C. for you, and if you have been pleased with President Trump sending in the National Guard, or if you have not liked it?
Well, first of all, thank you both for having me. It's a pleasure to be on the
Of
show.
course.
To your first question, I am in full support of the National Guard being here in DC. I have definitely noticed a change. I've been back in DC for almost a week now, and I've taken numerous walks around the city. I've gone grocery shopping. Another activity that my friends and I like to do, we call it monumenting, where we go walk to the White House and down the National Mall and up to the Lincoln Memorial. And we have noticed far fewer homeless people. We've noticed many National Guard troops keeping watch over the area. And one of the biggest changes that I've personally noticed is I feel that the city has gotten a lot cleaner. I've noticed that there's less trash on the streets, and there was actually a video I saw on Instagram last night, actually, of National Guardsmen cleaning up Lafayette Park.
I saw
And
that
it's
too.
very important to me that um, and it should be important, frankly, to every citizen and every American, because this is our nation's capital, that when tourists and people from across the country come to visit Washington, that the Capitol is clean, that there aren't any homeless people living in tents on the streets, that they're in clinics and places in which they can get help, and that we also have law and order. So I would say that the National Guard being here has been definitely a positive thing.
One of the things that's been weird for me to observe is the amount of people who have really downplayed how bad it's been in DC. I have had my car windows bashed in. I know five, who have been carjacked, including my hairstylist in Georgetown, who was removing potted flowers from the back of her car, and her car got carjacked while she was doing that to try and bring the flowers in front of her salon. It is not safe. I stopped sending my daughter to this play group because it was in an area where all these people were getting carjacked. And I just was like so worried that, like, I mean, it's like literally my worst nightmare to have something like that happen. And I go to the wharf to have dinner on occasion. And there has been crime sprees happening at the wharf as well, and shootings. It's a beautiful area in DC. So it is very real. And I haven't really understood the downplaying. I've seen journalists on TV that were like, it's fine. This isn't like it was in the 90s. And it's like, there hasn't been a murder in 12 days, which I think is a good thing. I think it's good that we are not having murders in Washington, D.C. I don't know how long Trump can keep the National Guard in D.C., but as we said, there he's thinking about sending it to Chicago. I think it's also a great thing for Chicago. Poor residents of Chicago have had such a hard time with crime as well. We had Gianno Caldwell, our friend who came on, who lost his cousin in a tragic shooting on the south side of Chicago. So, are you supportive of Trump sending the National Guard in, and do you think there could possibly be a positive experience with that as well?
Well, I would absolutely be in support of the president sending in the National Guard to Chicago because very similar to DC, crime is just an all too common occurrence in Chicago. And in many cases, crime in Chicago is not only confined to the South and West sides where most of the violence happens, but in more recent years on the north side of the city where I'm originally from, violence and robberies and carjackings and home burglaries have really become commonplace. And for those who don't know, we had 6 people murdered just this past weekend from Friday to Sunday night in Chicago, and another
Gosh.
27 people shot and wounded. And Sunday night, we also, one of the largest stores, just a stone's throw away, actually, from the Magnificent Mile, the Nordstrom store, right off of Rush Street, which is a very major thoroughfare in Chicago, for those who don't know. It was burglarized by 10 individuals, and this was clearly a planned robbery in that there were 10 individuals in three cars. They all got out and forced their way into the building and stole a bunch of merchandise and got away with it. And the police are still investigating. So I think the National Guard being sent to Chicago would be a good thing because for the past couple of years, the police department's hands have just been tied. And many people thought that our previous mayor, Lori Lightfoot, was the worst thing that could happen to Chicago, but they were clearly wrong because now we have Brandon Johnson, who's done an innumerable amount of damage. I mean, the amount of damage that he has done to the city in just the 2 years that he's been mayor is impossible to quantify. So I think the National Guard would be excellent in Chicago because in DC, as we've seen, the results are there. I saw yesterday that carjackings in DC, since the National Guard um, was called in by Trump, carjackings are down 83%, robberies
Wow.
down 46%, and going 12 days without a murder, that's remarkable. And also, if I might add, Chicago has not gone a single day without a shooting since 2016. So I think
God.
bringing in the National Guard would very much restore that law and order component that the city so desperately needs.
Russell, what do you say to people who say that this is, tiptoeing into fascism or militarizing the police, and that this is, kind of our tiptoeing into um, just got way too much government overreach?
Well, I would say to those who try to invoke fascism and Nazi Germany,
Mhm.
as J.B. Pritzker, the Illinois
Yes.
governor, has done when discussing the actions of the Trump administration. I would say to those folks who are criticizing this move to listen to the victims of
Yeah.
crime, not just in DC, but in Chicago. You can just listening to their stories, you can see that they're afraid to take their kids out at any point during the day because it's important to understand that these types of incidents, the carjackings, the robberies, this is not something that happens at night. This is not something that happens just in the impoverished, the neighborhoods that have been stricken with poverty. This is something that's happening at all times, all hours of the day. This is something that's happening even in the nicest neighborhoods. In Georgetown, I've heard stories from friends that have been shot at, robbed, jumped.
Georgetown's
Um,
pretty bad, or it was.
it is.
Mhm.
It still has some rough spots, I would say. And I would definitely not recommend walking around at any part of the city during the night. It's just not safe. Same with Chicago. Same with really any major city in general. But I would say to those who are doubting the president, or for those who are even going further by comparing it to fascism, I would say listen to the people who have been affected by it. Don't try to overlook their stories and stop living in your bubble as well, because that's one thing I've especially noticed being on campus just over the past couple of days. Many of the professors and even some of the students here, not surprisingly, have been so outspoken in their opposition towards the National Guard, and I think people need to step out of their bubble. That is the GW campus, and they really need to go around the city and talk to everyday citizens. I think when you're in college and even when you're a professor, you really only tend to focus on your little bubble of people. You don't really tend to focus on what everyday citizens are experiencing. So I think maybe choosing an alternative pathway than the pathway that they're currently on, which is they're being divorced from reality and they're living in their own bubble. I would
Yeah.
encourage them to listen to everyday citizens and go around the city and see what's actually happening. And also look at the numbers because the numbers don't lie.
I think JB Pritzker too should. There's a horrific story about a woman whose 3-month old was shot while she's just riding in her car in her car seat in Chicago, somewhat recently. I think it was a few months ago. And I would have JB Pritzker talk to that mother and say, does she care about which party is doing it, which president is going to try and clean everything up? And at a certain point, it's like, Senator Pritzker, this is your state. Why is crime this rampant? Why are you allowing it? Why haven't you done more to get things in order? And I know the argument of like, this is what Democrats want, but I can't imagine there's any voter on the planet that's like, we're okay with murder and crime and violence. And I think part of the problem with Democrats in this conversation is that you can tell people, like, I've seen a bunch of people on CNN saying, like, look at the graphs, like, murder's down a little bit, crime is down a little bit, but it doesn't feel that way. I go in DC all the time, like all the time, every few days, like all the time for meetings and lunch, whatever. And like, it does not feel safe. So you can't just sit there in your studio and tell me that everything's fine. It's no big deal when I am freaked out about sending my daughter to a play group. So it's like, and I think Democrats should have learned that lesson from 2020 that like, you can't just say like, some crime is fine and some violence is fine as long as it fits my particular political narrative. And I think it's a very dangerous road for them to go down. And I agree with you, Russell. I hope Trump sends in the National Guard to Chicago. I think the people of Chicago really deserve better. And there's a lot, like you said, the crime and the shootings and just these. I just think of Giano when he came on the show. It's just these horrific, horrific, godless stories about crime and violence and murder. And I hope I don't really care. I don't care if it's AOC cleaning it up. I just want someone to do something about it. I don't, if it's Trump, great. If it's, if Mom Donnie wants to send the National Guard in to like clear things up, fine. I'm all for no murder. So that's all I have to say. Do you want to talk about Russell, a recent Northwestern poll about college before you go really quick, or do you need to run?
I would love to. I
Okay, good.
have the time.
Full disclosure,
Okay.
Russell works with us on a very close basis and we adore him. He's
Yes.
our helper.
Russell is our college associate.
College our associate. He's not
you.
just our helper. It's like you're not like an elf. You're
No,
college
Russell is our
associate.
colleague. Yes, thank
Yes.
you. So, and thank you. And we had our meeting, and I was like, you should start coming on because we love speaking to you. So, thank you. All right. So,
smart, yes.
Russell, this is a story that Miranda actually found. According to a recent Northwestern University poll, 88% of the students said that they pretended to be more progressive than they are to succeed academically or socially. 80% of students said that they submitted classwork that misrepresented their real views to conform to the progressive views of the professor. The divide between progressives and conservatives, which is also viewed as a disconnect between elites and non-elites, is a widespread issue through the West. Sociologist James Davidson Hunter also warns that political discourse has devolved into a fight for power without purpose, fueled by grievance and despair. Do you feel like people are sort of presenting themselves in a way to seem more progressive just so they won't be harassed or ostracized in or out of the classroom?
Absolutely. And I think that's
That's so
one of
depressing.
the saddest, most unfortunate realities of being a university student. And unfortunately, it's not a problem that's limited to GW. It's a widespread problem all across America. And personally, there have been so many classes that I've taken just over the last 3 or 4 years where the first thing that the professor has done is articulate his or her political views by going on a rant and
Wow.
telling us that we have to believe this and that this is something that such and such that conservative viewpoints are wrong, that we should be just recently as yesterday, my French literature professor took 5 or 10 minutes to go on a rant about how we should be resisting the Trump administration's push to have the National Guard in DC and in Chicago. And that is something that's just very unfortunate to me because I know as soon as a professor articulates their political views, I'm going to have to tailor any assignment I do for them to fit their viewpoint and fit their narrative, even if it doesn't align with what the actual facts are or with what my viewpoint is. And I'm not so concerned about proving my viewpoint or proving someone else's viewpoint. I'm just interested, as any other student should be, in listening to the facts and just getting back to the basics, learning basic history. And it's it's really just a widespread problem, and it's having really, really terrible effects on many of the students. And in my constitutional law class this morning, you can see that the professors have spent way too much time focusing on proving their points to the students and not focusing on basic facts, because our constitutional law professor this morning was asking students if they could discuss what the legislative branch was. And there were only 3 or 4 people out of a 50 student class that could articulate that. So that to me is just reprehensible, that professors think it's their duty to tell students what to believe and what they should be doing. And unfortunately, I think until people step up and realize that this is wrong, and I've certainly been in that fight to try and move away from having these professors indoctrinate students, because I'm on the George Washington University College Republicans, and that's something that we've been very focused on. But I think until you have enough people that realize that this is wrong and that this is reprehensible, then you really won't see a change in those numbers.
It's really depressing. I don't know what Trump has to do with French literature, like at all. No offense to your professor. Hope they don't
Very,
see
like,
this and get angry.
I hope
intellectually
not either. I
dishonest.
don't think they will.
There's no way they're consuming this content. Don't worry.
No.
Well, anytime anything happens that you want to talk about, you can come on our show and, let us know, obviously. And I really appreciate your insight, Russell, and thank you for taking time today. I know you're incredibly busy at school, and we love working with you.
Me too.
Russell, do you want to plug your social media or anything, or just say goodbye?
Well, I'd just like to say it's been a pleasure to be on the show, and I thank you both very much. And
Thank you.
I really I know that you all were talking about earlier, and you were discussing this on Monday to some extent as well, that it's really sad that both of our parties have gotten to the point, they've become so extreme that when someone such as President Trump does something that's good, such as cleaning up DC and restoring law and order to the streets, the Democrats are just going to fight him tooth and nail. I think it's sad that we've become so polarized that when someone, regardless of their party affiliation, does something that furthers the interests of the nation's citizens, that the other party just has to fight them tooth and nail. That person, because their beliefs don't align with the opposition, we have to fight them tooth and nail. We can't, it can't just be a victory. I think the concept of a victory for everyone has largely been erased over the past couple of years, just due to the polarization. But I will say, I'll close off by just saying I hope that that changes and that people realize what's going on and really step up to the plate and do the hard work of trying to build consensus.
I like that. We
I
need to
agree.
bring back
Yeah.
the community. Yes, I love
Yeah,
it.
I
Absolutely.
like that too. Well, Russell, thank you so much for coming on, and come back anytime, and I'll see you in our next
Yes, we'll see you on
brainstorming meeting.
Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah,
you.
I'll see you. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much, Russell.
Thank
Bye,
you, both of
Russell.
you. Take care.
We'll see you soon. Do you
I
really
love
quickly want
him.
to do Northwest, or do you want to move on and say goodbye,
I
Miranda?
don't want to. Yeah, we can say goodbye. I think everyone saw the picture.
Okay,
right?
we had a Northwest, the Kim
Do you wanna do
Kardashian
it?
daughter topic. No, it's no big deal. She's not dressed the way we would dress our 12-year-olds. That's the
If
Cliff
anybody
Notes.
wants to hear the story, I asked Coco how old she thought North looked, and everyone's free to Google the picture of North in Rome, where my brother also is, by the way, because he got blessed by the Pope. Which is a nice story.
Nice, yes.
She thought North was 30 years old, which is horrible because she's 12. Poor thing. So anyway,
Yeah, it's really sad.
it's a lot for North. So
We want to thank all of our guests for calling in, and Russell, obviously,
Russell,
for
who's fabulous,
joining our show and also working on our show. He's really a gem, like a really diamond in the rough, much like everyone
That,
else who works on the show.
but you know
I'm
what?
going to say something.
He's Kara's
Yes.
nephew. That genetic tree is
Yeah,
just.
she's our Booker's nephew. Okay, we're giving away all our secrets.
But
Okay, she's our
but I
Booker's
mean,
nephew. Okay,
Nepo, another Nepo baby.
our producer and Booker Kara. It's our nephew. It's a secret.
Is that
He's
a
our college
secret?
associate.
Why is that a secret?
Yes, but he
I'm
works
just
on our
saying.
show. Yes, and we have great people who work on it. I have a really, I'm not just saying this. I have one of my gifts is I have a knack for spotting talent in general in life, like with media. I really do. And we have, I'm not going to name names, but there's a few people that this was the first show they came on, and now they have big careers right now. Some of them aren't so nice to me anymore, but that's a whole other story for another time. But
Where's my
we
teacup?
yes, but we have, but I have a knack for spotting talent. I think if Russell wants to do on camera stuff, he certainly can. He's a great producer. Kara's a wonderful producer. You're a wonderful producer. Ashley's a wonderful producer. We have a great team here at Two Way, and I still feel so lucky that they let me staff my own show because I don't want to
Can I
work
say,
with
Megan, you're a wonderful
strangers.
producer and you're a wonderful host and friend.
I try. Our YouTube numbers aren't showing that I'm a great host
Fuck
anymore.
it.
Like, okay. The bitch out here, you guys. Gosh. Anyway, but we're gonna keep on keeping on. And like I said, we have hope you guys have a wonderful Memorial Day. We are not going to have a show on Monday. I think we're going to do an extra show next week. I have to talk to our the people that are above us on the chain of command. But I hope you guys all have a wonderful long weekend with your families and friends and all the things. And yeah, that's it. Thank you all so much for listening, and we'll see you again next week.